as we get to now, the main event of NXT Vengeance Day, a match that was scheduled for NXT New Year's Evil back in January, but was pulled due to Dragunov's injury. But it was Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams for the NXT Championship, and the fans love them some Trick Williams. As we noted last week on the wrap, when he came out in Miami, the fans knew who this man was, and NXT is his home. They gave him that beautiful reception as a chance to whoop that Trick, and Dragunov was the de facto heel in this match because the fans really wanted Trick to win. And about a minute or two into this match, hard way blood for both. This was a bloody match. You felt like, are you watching UFC 305 months down the road? Because there was blood all in the ring. Like the mat was bloody, Trick's mouth was bloody, Dragunov's mouth was bloody. It was just a physical bruising match as expected because Dragunov is going to put on a show, and he did so once again, kneeing Trick in the face, kicking Trick in the face, suplexes galore, putting him through the paces. We have Melo being the cheerleader at ringside trying to root his friend on. And I said to myself, Trick, the biggest mistake you could possibly make was say, I need my friend out there. I need my brother out there to support me. I said, Trick, the biggest mistake you would ever make was say, come on, Melo, I need you tonight. Lies. So throughout this match, we had some miscommunication, okay? First off, we had Trick accidentally run into Trick at one point. Then we had Melo accidentally chop blocking Trick from behind, and Trick is able to fight back. He's able to deliver his clotheslines, his kick, and the knee strike, the signature knee for the win. There's like a 10 count by the fans. It's over, but the referee's knocked out. Melo's knocked out. Referee number 2 comes out there, and Dragunov kicks out, and the fans are going crazy. We got Trick hitting the first 48 on Dragunov for a near fall and an H-bomb as well. We got Dragunov hitting an H-bomb on Trick as well, going for the torpedo Moscow, and it misses, but it comes down to, once again, both guys going for their finisher. We have Melo being the cheerleader. We got Trick taking the ponytail down, dreads just hanging down, going for my knee strike. And then we have Dragunov in position for the torpedo Moscow. They hit the moves at the same time, but the torpedo Moscow hits Trick first, and he pins Trick to retain the NXT Championship. And the crowd is very sad by this outcome as Dragunov retains the NXT Championship. So once the match is over, we have Dragunov take his leave as champion, and we have Melo and Trick in the ring. And Melo's being a supporter friend, saying, we got this. Trick, Melo, gang forever. I got you, bro. I love you. Then we get the NXT trademark color splash on the corner of the screen. And when you see that, you immediately think about Ciampa and Gargano many moons ago. Because when that trademark flashed, you think the show's over. So we get our trademark splash on the screen, it fades away. But the show is not over. So as Melo says, you, my friend, love you. The one thing Trick does that you should never do is turn your back on anybody. He did so, and Melo finally did the thing. He chop blocked his now former best friend. And these fans booed the hell out of Carmelo Hayes. He finally turned on Trick. He grabbed a steel chair, and he repeatedly smashed the knee of Trick Williams, the left knee that was injured during the first match when he was fighting for the Dusty Cup. Hit him in the knee repeatedly with that steel chair. I thought at one point he was going to Pillmanize the knee, but refused to do so. Sat down to talk shit, beat him up some more with the steel chair, and he finally put the TrickMelo Gang t-shirt on Trick and told him, I am him. And the fans, they were a little conflicted as to how much they hate Melo. So one side of the crowd says, fuck you, Melo. And then the other crowd says, Melo sucks. And then he said, you can kiss my ass. I blame all of you. You did this, you, and you. And now we can expect promos of a lifetime as you get ready for TrickMelo at Stand and Deliver.
Hmm. Doesn't make any sense to me as far as why he chose now to, reveal himself to go after the chop block and all that. Just doesn't make sense. Well, I guess we'll find out more on Tuesday, but he decided to wait until after the loss and all that stuff. I just come on, man. It's for the match goes. I give it. I'm gonna give it 3 3/4 torpedoes. Almost got the 4, but yeah, 3 3/4. Just the physicality was on a whole nother level. It looked like Apollo Creed and the Russian fighting in Rocky 4. Just a lot of bloodshed going on. I was waiting on Carmelo to throw in the white towel at one point, but again, Melo does a lot of the basics really well, and he just adds his own flair to it. At one point, his mouth was completely bloody, and he's just hulking up, hulking up while he's pulling. While Ilya had his arms wrapped around to get ready to German him, and he's hulking up, and just a great sight to see. But as far as the turn goes, I mean, what does this mean? Is Melo not going to finish his story? I mean, his story is winning the NXT title. He is definitely the chosen one. No one else should be winning that title next except Melo. He's destined for, or I'm sorry, Trick Williams. He's destined for Carmelo Hayes. What happens with the title? What do you do with Ilya? He's in the middle of all this because he's got the title. What do you do with that? You got Melo and Trick Williams walking up to SmackDown. They're up there sometimes. Like, there's just a lot of moving pieces right now. But I guess what I'm realizing is Trick Williams isn't finishing his story this year either.
The story is on pause, but I predicted this. I figured that Trick was not going to win the championship and New Year's Evil. He wasn't going to win at Stand and Deliver. This was going to be a blood feud rivalry with Mello. And I understand it. Trick's time will come, just not right now. It wasn't preordained. It had to be the show or it had to be Stand and Deliver. It will be sometime before the end of this year, I do believe. But I do know for a fact that this is probably was going to be the plan. Mellow Trick, Stand and Deliver, blood feud rivalry going down in Philadelphia at probably 1:30 in the afternoon after that 11:30 a.m. start time. But I'm fine with it. As for Ilya Dragunov, I do not know who his opponent is going to be for Stand and Deliver. I'm going to be brazen and say something outlandish, insane, and crazy. If it is to be believed that the Okada sweepstakes are still alive and well, and I know people are going to say, how dare he debut at NXT? Well, I'll go back to what Kelly Kincaid said about, oh, this is going to be the hottest selling NXT event ever going down in Philly. It's going to be awesome. I would tell you this. Wouldn't it be interesting if Dragunov's opponent is Okada and those tickets just magically start moving like Shinsuke moved tickets in Dallas during WrestleMania weekend back in 2016? That is the only play that makes conceivable sense to me. He does a one shot down there for that match, and we'll see where it goes. Is it brazen? Yes. But we're talking about the C dub. The C dub needs a draw, so I don't know. Is it crazy? Perhaps. But I don't see anyone else on this roster that could give Dragunov a run besides Okada if WWE lands him.
I think it's mad disrespectful to ask Okada to work at 11:30 a.m. I think it's mad disrespectful to ask that man for his first match to be at 11. That man go back 11:30. What you mean 11? What you mean 11:30? What are we doing at 11:30? Um, I think that match would be incredible. It would definitely be Shinsuke Sammy levels. I don't know if Okada. I'm for it. I'm 100% for it. I hope it happens. I was also going a bit outlandish. Somebody who has not been around for a while and doesn't really seem like he's going to have any WrestleMania plans. So maybe he could have some NXT plans and go after the NXT title. I wouldn't mind if Sheamus came down and had a little exchange with Ilya for that title at Stand and Deliver.
Popped in my head at the same time as you was going there, and that would actually be freaking awesome too. That would be like one of the best matches, period, for the weekend. So I like that idea too, because I'm trying to think like who on NXT could conceivably compete
Oh,
with
nobody.
Dragunov. Nobody. There's
Nobody.
nobody. So you got to go outside. You can get Sheamus. I'm down for that. That would be a classic. Or the outlandish pie in the sky option of Okada coming down to do this. It will be a classic match. It'll be the main event. It'll move tickets automatically. It'll be a hot ticket that weekend in Philadelphia, setting the tone for WrestleMania weekend. So either option works for me. There's nothing else I can see them do in terms of finding a star that can give Dragunov that match. There's only two options here. One is crazy as hell, and the other one is more plausible.
Yeah, and because unless you do a multi-man match with TrickMelo and Ilya, which has kind of, I mean, that has been the thread throughout this entire thing, has been those three in that title. So you could do it like that, but then you could potentially have a triple threat for your NXT title, a triple threat for your WWE title. You don't want to triple threat everybody out. And I think Mello and Trick Williams 100% deserves that one-on-one spotlight. Now, if they want to get wild and somehow get the title off of Dragunov and put it on one, it would need to be Mello at that point. But I just don't think you would do that. So I like you said, nobody on NXT is built up enough to go after Dragunov. Nobody's even close. So you got to go outside. You got to bring somebody in, and this is what they've done before. So it's not like it's anything new. They've brought people in around this time of year anyway. So I would like to see Sheamus come back. I think he's just a guy who's not doing much, and that physicality, man. I could definitely see him busting open Dragunov's mouth like Trick Williams did tonight. But Okada would be special. That would be something, and it would piss off a lot of people.
It would. As the 2024 sweepstakes continue, it would not shock me, but we do believe that there's going to be an outside force racing Dragunov and Stand and Deliver.